It seems like this is where I make my videos lately, so I'm gonna try another one. This isn't gonna be that amazing. I have my notes, and it's just something I have been telling my friends I was gonna make, told myself I was gonna make, and so I'll give it a try. Me and my prune juice. Right? Anyone else, like in their 50s, drink warm prune juice? Yeah, me too. So this is testimony from 10 years ago when I saw some of the main girls who were suing Mr. Gothard, if you remember. 10 years ago, guys. But I had seen they were unhappy on Facebook, and those posts can be proven. I'm sure they're there somewhere. I saw how unhappy they were, like with their lives. They were actually wanting money. And I'm sure to go along with what I'm saying, but I also, oh, the posts are there to prove it. Sorry. I also was having a hard time in my 40s, I remember, and needed income to achieve my dreams. I remember things I wanted to do. I wanted to start something. I wanted to invent something. And all of you remember that too, probably. The saloon is, oh. But I think something evil happened to get these girls to sue and to promise each other $100,000 if they would speak against Mr. Gothard in a lawsuit. And I remember reading Billy Sunday, who said, the saloon is worse than war. And it is the appalling source of crime. And I just wonder, because I used to hear that my friends, all my friends at ATI started drinking, and I'm like, okay. Yeah. I know of one lawyer who talked one of the girls into a story and told her she had to say something of value. But the girl told me later, when I asked her, she told me she didn't want to say it, but he made her. We found out so many things. But anyway, that lawsuit's over with, but that's kind of my backstory. Is I learned a lot of stuff. This is all proven in private messages, of course. But her journal from the time she said that he groomed her, of course, that year of journaling is missing. Just that 1 year was missing, or that 1 month. So we, I started realizing that God put me like in that place for a reason. Like I was up in Chicago. I was supposed to be playing basketball in Alabama. God put me up there for a reason, to understand that these girls that I'm seeing now, especially on Amazon docu-series, and it's just like, that's what we all did, was we wrote in our journals every day, and no one missed anything like that. So yeah, shall we start over? I think I put take 2. Yeah, Billy Sunday said, I ask no quarter and I give none. I have drawn the sword in defense of God. And I think all of us out there, I know the lady that's making the shiny slander, she has drawn her sword in defense of God. And I hope that there will be more people come out and speak the truth. You guys are hiding behind what? Like you're worried about what? So come out and speak the truth, like what actually happened at headquarters. Write Amazon and say something. This is ridiculous what they're doing. Rallying behind Mr. Gothard is important, and what's at stake is the lives of Christians and people wanting to give their lives to Jesus and who need to see truth of how Christians really are. Jesus wants more people to be saved, and now is the time to speak truth while we have the opportunity. When we see attacks on Christians that can't be proven, expose the lies. Like, where are you guys? Why are you hiding? Why are you not exposing the lies? When all this came out, I guess my point is, why didn't you speak up? And can you now? So, there's this verse that I wrote. It's about a scorner or a scoffer who scoffs at religion, its ordinances and teachers. Proverbs 14:6. A scoffer seeks wisdom in vain. When I hear of stories, in 2012, even back then, did those girls text a friend about their encounter? Where is proof? Any proof? Most people were where I used to work, numerous people, they could approach Mr. Gothard's sister, sat right outside his office every day. Wow, this is messy handwriting. Yeah, Mr. Gothard's sister, there were other board members, and high staff who would have been very open to hearing a bad tale of something that happened. And yeah, but not one girl ever spoke back then. So I didn't realize I talked this long on this subject. But a scoffer seeks wisdom in vain. I thought that was so interesting last year when I read that. People are always asking for wisdom, but how can you when you are lying about someone? Being a scoffer. God's not going to help you with wisdom. So, what was the next thing? Yeah, in Shiny Slander, they've already proven all this stuff wasn't true, like the huge window. But those lies about how it was back then, I could easily say that about anyone. But how evil to come after someone who cared so much about people, who isn't married, and then you don't have proof. Like, how evil when you know what he did and how he served people his whole life. And then, yeah, what's being done right now, even like just taking his stuff, his property, like what? Yeah, I don't know. That, I don't know. Like, that is ridiculous. It's really sad what's happening. So I started praying for my situation in my marriage and provision for my kids, going back to my point about I was having problems too, okay, when I was 40. When I saw these girls on the first website, whatever it was called, 2012, well, guess what? It's like they're doing that now. They're trying to put out all these lies to make other people come in and comment and make this a bigger thing than it is, to destroy Christianity. Okay, we got the point. But I started praying back then for provision instead of gossiping on their websites, and slowly God provided in small ways. I learned to pray and have faith, and that's what happened. When it wasn't a good place to live, I would pray for God to move, and he always worked it out. When someone was treating us wrong, God always removed that person from our lives in cool ways I wouldn't have thought of. And when we needed money, we got it in different ways than I thought would happen, and so on. That's every time it happened. And every time we thought we were sick and needed a doctor, we would go, and nothing was actually wrong. And that was so interesting. We've had lots of struggles, but no major thing where we didn't have a way to move forward. And I think it's the same for everyone who looks to God and waits for him. Like, why are you trying to do a series where you're lying just to make money? Like, just pray and God will provide. Like, for right around the time they did this lawsuit, God provided this amazing business for us. We made a lot of money back then. It was like nothing that I could have imagined. I know of a project, okay, I'm talking about the Shiny Slander video. So it is actually needing a lot of funding right now to make a professional video to fight against the Shiny Happy people. So if you know anyone that can give to that, But it explains why Mr. Gothard's complaints filed against him didn't work, and also why he wasn't able to countersue, and all the details will be shared clearly in that. If you want to help, let us know. Of course, there's tons of info in court records and all that. You can look it up yourself. But yeah, all the series has already been proven slanderous, untrue. Like, Holly is going through every slanderous comment and showing how it's false. That's pretty cool, because she used to just have a little YouTube channel about kids and stuff. And now she's able to do this. But yeah, I've seen proof of professional counselors telling girls they just have repressed memories, you know, just telling them. So even though they can't remember what happened, never heard of that in my life, have you? Ooh, the sun is hot on this ear. Okay, I think God has raised up people, though, to speak truth, and it wasn't like this 10 years ago. We didn't have Tucker or Candace or Matt Walsh. We now have Twitter, or X, where we can share serious truths. So everyone involved in lying about Mr. Gothard will be exposed. Like, I feel sorry for y'all. It's just so dumb. It would be cool if James O'Keefe could, like, do some of his little secret interviews with even, like, IBLP and all the people who have taken all his stuff. Yeah. We have him now, and I'm going to tell him about the stuff. What? Yeah, I can't read. So y'all might need to watch for hidden cameras when you're talking. I was thinking about, even if you go to Mr. Gothard's house or whatever, you need to be watching for hidden cameras. They might be there. He posted recently compelling people to expose their wrongdoing. I agree with his post. Now is the time to expose lies, and that was talking about James O'Keefe. And I'm sorry, I could do a professional video, I know. Is this even the right page? Looks like I skipped a page. My experience was happy at headquarters. That's my next point. I decided to work for no pay, and I know God blessed me for that. I'm telling you, He really did. Not very many people live in a brand new log home when they're first married, and God did. He provided that for us. Right after I stopped working for headquarters, got married, and we lived in this brand new log home for 5 years. Our first home, we helped build it on 300 acres. It was beautiful to have our first 4 children, and we paid like $600 a month. All brand new. And I could go on and on about the blessings God gave in the midst of all the hard times of marriage and Andy's dad dying and just problems with raising 8 kids. But there's so many blessings from God. Another story at headquarters was God spoke to me up there that I should memorize more of the Bible than my just, Awana verses that I'd already learned. So I would walk every day to the staff meeting, and on my way from the house where we lived there, called Heritage, I memorized Psalm 139, and I memorized it word for word, and I literally, over the past 30 years, haven't even looked, and I still have it in my heart, word for word. I don't even look at the passage anymore. After those couple of years, I just memorized it. Now, it may seem like I was just a goody two-shoes, okay? Prune juice. But God had touched my heart when I was 9 years old, and then again when I was 16. And to just stand up for higher standards in my high school. And everyone knows that, you can ask anybody. I just decided to stand up for the Lord. I hope this is still recording. I was Miss Coosa Christian. I was the most godly, or whatever it was, best Christian character on the basketball team. And God really blessed it. Like, I became the top player as well. I was known for not kissing my boyfriend. Like, everyone was on to me. my senior year, and I was made fun of, but God had touched my heart with his goodness to me and my family and his principles I was learning at the seminar. We would go every year, and from my pastor and my youth leader, I became co-salutatorian even, and I was just very thankful. Hold on tight, guys. Because of being at school, just thankful to be at school. I was on a modeling team board. I understood that crowd who wasn't saved and who wasn't following God. I really kind of got the situation, what they were going through at the time. I saw there were some girls and guys whose every thought was like something nasty or inappropriate, and I was like, really? Like, I kind of figured out those kind of people. And at headquarters, I noticed the same type people. I'm like, why are they up here? I thought they were like serious for the Lord. And when I saw who was suing Mr. Gothard, I realized, oh, okay, yeah, that's kind of what I saw back then. And the same girls who started the big lawsuit and the lies were ones I was concerned about. Like, I really did think, wow, they kind of, back then, are they okay? A little bit worried about these specific two girls. But who goes back 22 years and says lies that they say they can't remember? There was no trauma back then at headquarters or Dallas or Indy, okay? But guess what? People aren't speaking up, and that's what I'm ashamed of. My friends who are good people, they just don't want to speak up because of something, some reason. I don't even know. Mr. Gothard even has letters from these exact girls proving the opposite, like how much he helped them and their families, of course. But IBLP will still not return his property just because he agreed to resign during a time of reconciliation. Like, who does that, guys? That's embarrassing. Very fishy. I've heard with my own ears that the reason they wanted to keep saying they have extra dirt on Mr. Gothard was only because of the money involved that IBLP's top staff wanted to keep. And someone said there is $100 million at stake, so we can't share truth. Wow, my hair. But hey, think about that, okay? I just heard this last week. I think this is very criminal, actually. So why is this lady that said this on camera willing to hide this information? God knows and he sees. What are you hiding? What are you not saying? And that's what this talk is about. Sorry it was confusing. I hope you could hear it. I hope you could hear everything. And I hope that I was able to share some truth with you guys. But what are you not saying that you could say? Speak up against the ones who are lying. Watch the docu-series on Amazon. Those people are slandering you and your family because you won't speak up. Anyway,